Back in Utah, when I was a boy, everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, I hope we're still there. The call dropped. Had some problems going on, but I want to talk about, first and foremost, the new Congress. And I want to set the record straight about here in Utah. There's been a lot of hyperbole spin about Mia Love. This is the insanity. I had two different people, professors yesterday, try to tell me she was a graduate of Harvard. I'm like, oh no, try Hartford. Let's talk about who she is. Now, this is the political theater. What do you need, a secondhand movie star to tend you? These secondhand movie stars are going to... Her name is Ludmilla Boudreau from Haiti. Yeah, she was not born in Brooklyn. She was born in Haiti. Okay, she went to a second-hand acting school. Theater. A shitty one, by the way. University of Hartford. You know... in a degree in performing arts. Yeah, she was a theater geek. Yes. And I want to talk about this. Why people run for Congress now. All the wrong reasons. All the wrong reasons. Now, let's think about this. Her BYU grad, she was found sick out by this. And by the way, you think her husband and that whole theater... oh boy, do they freaking find these people and plug them in. Don't you love how she changes her name to Mia Love? I mean, think about that. I mean, a performing art degree from a second-hand acting school. False equivalency on Balco. Now think about this. She's elected. 2 days after she's elected, she already has a book out. People don't run for politics anymore. They think that it's still popism. They do it to get, there's big money in running for politics. Now, mark my words, and you can give this and go and cast it down in concrete, just like all these assholes out there that owe me all this money on Scott Brown, the T-Bagger Revolt, and I bet people hundreds of thousands of dollars, many, many, many people that he would be done as soon as they freaking put up a real candidate in Massachusetts. Everybody says, oh no, he's going to change the world, blah, blah. By the way, he ran again in another state and lost. They owe me. She will lose in 2 years, but that's what she wants. She'll have her own show on Fox News. Now, just think about it. It's just like Huckabee running. Why would Huckabee possibly run it? His evangelical base. He doesn't even have an evangelical base. I don't even know what you would call it. I call it an old spin of Lawrence Welk Hee Haw on Saturday night. It's ridiculous, but there's big money in running. Don't you understand? These people get to keep a lot of the money, and even if they don't get to keep the money, they write a book. They have, I mean, she is, I'd love to have a conversation with her behind closed doors. I would love to have and she regurgitates hyperbole spin. Everything is scripted by these people. She's being scripted exactly by Karl Rove, right at the political theater, Judge Alito. Now let's get real about politics in Utah, which mirrors politics around the country. Now I don't want any of you to ever forget this. Anybody who's listened to this to never forget this. The Republican Party named a white supremacist, an admitted white supremacist, to the majority whip. Did he have to stand down? No, he didn't stand down. It happened. So that's who they named. As they named it, they didn't back down. I mean, I love hyperbole spin. I mean, she's speaking exactly what Karl Rove tells her to speak. Judge Alito. This country has been looted, and the passive aggressives who sit back and let it be looted. It's amazing to me. You have an illegitimate Supreme Court, handpicked out of BYU law. Alito. Look up Alito, dig into Alito. Bush didn't win. He handpicked this as a gift to Rove. Rove was one on the show. By the way, you know, everybody says, oh, Rove was this genius. Rove never won anything. He's destroying the Republican Party. Destroying them. You think they feel all empowered, whatever, and don't get me wrong, the Democrats are pathetic. Pathetic. Passive, latte, freaking drinking, fucking organic pieces of shit. So that's what you have on the left. What do you got on the right? White supremacist freaking, I mean, wow. Why do you think nobody votes? When Jon Stewart says, I ain't going to fucking vote. Think about that. Do you see the turnout? Have you seen the participation rate in this country? You know, it's just like all the job numbers are up. Do you realize how bad they lie on the PPI, the CPI, which, by the way, was against law? It's not against law now. Clinton started that whole dog and pony show. If you don't think Ross Perot called this, he looked right at him. Remember when Ross Perot would look at H and Bill Walmart Clinton, say they're twins. Look at the two twins over there. The two freaking twins. Both of them are going to sign NAFTA. Don't you realize they're both on the same team? You know, and he was the tariff guy, remember? Perot was the great tariff guy. Remember that? Red pill, blue pill. He says, look at the two twins. You elect either one of them, you're done. You're done. It's amazing to me. I mean, two professors yesterday, smart guys. Oh, she graduated from Harvard. Harvard? Are you kidding me? I love it. She'll lose in 2 years. You know, it's sixth generation. The only reason he'll win. I'll guarantee he wins. I'll bet you anything you want to bet in 2 years. But that's what he wants. Now, remember this. They make $170,000 a year. By the way, Rob Bishop in our district here, high school teacher. I want to talk a little bit about this. High school teacher. I know him very well. He used to come into the classroom at Edelman High School, the Scots, with no socks on. He'll admit to you, he's a slob. He's been there for how many years? The Tribune finally prints his balance sheet. They print all the Utah politics balance sheets. How is that possible? He's negative on his balance sheet. What do they do? Can he really eat $170,000 worth of pizza freaking in his basement? He never goes to Congress. The only bill he's passed, and I did my PhD right here long before I got cancer. What's your opinion of Congress? Oh, we hate them. We hate. Who's your congressman? And they don't know. They don't know. That's America. You know, I named it post-ignorance. Oh, did I name it right? I mean, these are the professors. Oh, she's a Harvard girl. I said, no, she's not. She couldn't get in Harvard or her freaking life depended on it. It's a big cry between Harvard and Hartford, the second-hand movie star freaking political theater school in Brooklyn. Which, I mean, please. And change their name to be, well, they all do it. Let's see. Mitt Romney? What's Mitt's real name? Willard. The drug cartel in northern Mexico. What's Barack Obama's real name? I like, oh, his name is Barry Schronk. His name is Barry, well, whatever. You know, we know his real name is Barry. Barack. By the way, they named a new Fed governor, and I want to talk a little bit about this from Hawaii. Barack Obama was raised in Hawaii by upper middle class, neoconservative, Republican, white bank executives. Hello. Oh, you want to spin up in the far right, radical right. Oh, his most, by the way, John McCain was not born in the United States. Oh, that's different, the military, blah, blah, blah. Let's dive into McCain, driving the planes off the freaking thing. He's graduated last in his class. Who was his dad? Oh, the guy who made up the story on the Gulf of Tonkin that freaking sent 65,000 Americans to their fucking bloody deaths. Yes, that was McCain's father. These people are evil, evil. If you don't think they're evil, Livermore, what's coming out of Cal Berkeley, academia, these people are sick. They're eugenicists? Oh, fuck yes, they're eugenicists. Anybody who doesn't believe the whole fucking Fukushima thing is fucking gone a fucking muck with eugenicists is insanely stupid and ignorant. It's right in your face. John Holdren is running the show. It's been reported widely. Look him up. Yeah, he's the guy that wrote the book in 1977, 1978. He's the eugenicist, admitted eugenicist. Says that people should be forced sterilized. Now, by the way, maybe they should have done that in 80. I don't know. As we know, you ever been there? All the Catholic Church took over there. Oh, they don't believe in birth control versus Cuba? Wow. It's amazing. Oh, that's where Hamilton came from? The slave trade there? I think it's outrageous what Mia Love is saying. She's going to regret her words. Here is a black female from the roots, the hardcorest roots of the hardcorest slaves in Haiti. That's who her people are. She is the greatest betrayer I've ever heard. This is amazing to me, how people will sell their entire roots out for a little bit of money. I listened to her statements. Beyond disgusted. Now, if you think about this, the horrible slave trade going in Haiti, that is the foundation, the sugar trade, the molasses trade, the foundation for the southern trade, for the abolitionists, for the fucking horrible fucking path, responsible for the deaths of hundreds of millions of fucking people. The greatest repression in world history, absolutely, it's unfucking doubtable. That's where it came from, that's what it was. That's how America was formed, on Hamilton fucking watching it, doing the books for the slave trade that a 10-year-old boy, that's how genius he was. He saw the atrocities. This is who she is. This is who she is. And this is who they're going to prop up their false equivalency. The actress, the second-hand movie star from a second-hand political theater freaking program, performing arts. She's not a performing arts major at, NYU. No, at Hartford. These guys say, don't you love it? It's just like, remember Christine O'Donnell was running? I'm a constitutional scholar, she would say. Because she went to a 3-hour freaking Koch brothers sponsored freaking congressional freaking seminar. These people are insane. America's insane. America has lost their fucking mind. Ignorant? Yeah. Overworked? Yeah. GMO'd? Yeah. Chemtrail? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they put up with it. They love it. They're fucking drunk on ignorance and they're fucking proud of it. Pathetic? Beyond fucking pathetic. You can tell them the story of Fukushima right in their face. Yet, think about journalism in this country. You got people like me and a few other ones out there that were reporting this for free. Citizen journalists, wow, white. You got mega corporations. As I've come up with the term black and yellow media whores. Not yellow media. We all know what yellow media is. Well, I guess we got to explain that because everybody in this country skipped the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Now, is it their fault? Overwork? I don't know. They weren't overworked when they were kids. I don't understand. It's like when they were tearing down our beautiful Frank Lloyd Wright Prairie School, the only one, national treasure. I'm standing there with the people I grew up and went to school with. I'm like, Kevin, where'd you learn all that fucking activism? Sitting right there in that classroom, right next to you. What happened? Do you remember our second grade teacher, our third grade teacher? Oh, the Secretary of Education in this country's wife? The brilliant genius? We had genius teachers. Brilliant. Oh, that's when they made the equivalent to 130 or 140. They are what police officers are now, but they had integrity and dignity. Now you got cops that they just throw money to, and firemen. Oh, they're heroes. I'm friends with lots of cops, lots of firemen, including New York City, and they're like, fuck, we don't work. We don't do anything. We show up on things because these people just throw this money at them. Oh, yeah, they're bored out of their fucking minds, by the way. They sit around the firehouse, cook, whatever. In Utah, it's different than New York City as far as firemen. Firemen work here because they're the ETMs. They get called out, and they're go, 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 go. They work their ass off here because they go on all the calls. They're the same people. But police officer, you talk to them here. You'll say, fuck, there's no crime. We don't do anything. We're bored out of one of my very close friends, he says, you know, Kev, while we all show up, there's fucking 30 of us on any fucking little thing that gets bored because we're bored. Hero, he laughs. You got to hear him. He says, fuck, can you believe it? These fuckers are grandson all over. They're heroes. He says, what the fuck hero? Wow. Remember when there used to be police? I want you to Google the word police. They were part of it. They were integrated into society. They were part of the community. Help little old ladies across the fucking street. You know, help with their groceries. You know, come check on the elderly, whatever. They were, you know, men of integrity. Andy Taylor. You know, it's a good representative. Opie. You know, now they're law enforcement. Now think about that. They're not in law enforcement because what does that do? It backdoors the Constitution of the United States. Who is law enforcement in this country? Who is law enforcement? The courts. That's law enforcement. There's a system put in place because it was developed, the Constitution was developed as an anti-royal system to break down all those repressionary things that were going on in good, jolly old England. These guys didn't want no part of that system. They wanted to break from it. So, you know, it was negotiated. The Constitution, the amendments to the Constitution, which are called the Bill of Rights, original intent, came later, right? Declaration of Independence was signed, Governor Morse wrote it. They came later. It's been amended how many times? Well, this is a trick question I used to use in my MBA class. How many times has the United States Constitution been amended? I've only ever got 2 students ever get it right, and brilliant students. And, you know, and I give them credit even if they say 27. I'm one of these pass-fail guys. I don't believe in fucking putting the pressure on a student aid. I'm still, when I taught, I was a pass-fail guy, and I still believe in pass-fail. I don't believe in putting the pressure on, because you get the Japanese students, you get the Chinese students, and they put tremendous pressure on themselves, and that's all they do. I mean, it's an unfair freaking thing to even grade in this country anymore, because you get these students that come in here. I mean, what kind of young person is going to dedicate their whole life to studying at 18, 19, 20-year-olds, 24/7, go to the dorm and to school? That's a horrible way to fucking live. We need to take our young wolves and let them out of the fucking cage. Unlock the cage and let our young wolves out. Let them air. Let them do what we did. Let them make mistakes. Let them live. Let them be free. Let them love. Let them fucking understand nature. Let them do that. Don't force them into their fucking basements, which we've fucking done. Don't compare them to fucking these Chinese fucking maniac lunatics. You know, fucking parents send their kids over here. I mean, it's insanity. You know, that's my information that I get from Japan, because it was, look, they search, they seek. These are elitists that landed at our university. That's why I have so much good information outside Japan. It was the Japanese was rising up in the 80s and the 90s. We were the #1 school business in the United States, so they came here. I remember, holy cow, talk about intense pressure trying to compete with those kids. Oh my God, from the dorm to the classroom, period. I had a friend, I'm still friends with her, she says, you know, Japanese royals, they still have a fucking shogun system, elitist system. So, oh yeah, so do we, so does China, so does Russia, so does all of it. Yeah, they're back, 1914, all over again, the feudal system. It's back. You know, we blocked it. She said, Kevin, if my dad even knew I talked to you, I would be disowned. You know, and I said, I understand. It's outrageous what we've done to our young fucking people. You think about it, you know, and it's like this asshole come out and was doing some work on my house here before I got cancer. You know, this fucker was a dope addict, piece of shit, meth addict, still is. You know, I run him off. I hired some people to put some new carpet in, and this guy was on the crew, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want no fucking dope fiends in my house. So I run him off. And he was bitching and moaning about the kids and the youth. Then he told me he had to go clear up the Vernal to fucking on a drug charge. I'm like, what? Are you insane? Are you fucking people? You think about what we did as youth. Our fucking things. It's like my attorney says, he's Kevin. I'm sure, and he's a goody two-shoe. He says, I'm sure I committed fucking many felonies by today's standards. The pressure we put on our youth is insanity. Yet look what we did. A bunch of self-righteous fucking pricks is what we've turned into. Self-righteous fucking, you know, I get these comments all over my YouTube videos that fucking kill me. You know, they try to quote God or Jesus. I mean, you self-righteous fucks. Who the fuck do you think you are, these fuckers? Really? What are you, the prophet? They think they are. self-indulged, self-righteous fucking assholes. It's pathetic. So here she is. You know, they're trying to prop her up. Hartford. No, Hartford. Let's talk about her real name. Ludmilla Boudreau. Born in Haiti. Poorly educated. Just false equivalency to the 10th power. But think about it. What a gig. Run for politics in this country. I mean, it's popism fucking gone amok. You get rich. You know, the campaign rate, it didn't used to be that way. You get very, very rich. You get to keep part of that money. Now you think about, for instance, okay, we had a new district created here in Utah. We have 4 now instead of 3. Stewart, what did he do right off the get as soon as he was elected? By the way, nobody in his district even know who they are because we have, it's just like spread across America. There's no political process because they've jerry-rigged the districts, and we have one-party politics in each state. What is there, 12 swing states? I mean, these political ads get run in the political sphere, which is important. They fight, and we can find the issues. You'll never even know about them unless you live in a swing state. And then you're so bombarded and overrun with them, you can't stand it. So you throw your fucking TV off the fucking cliff and pull back and start spreading up every news, or you can't stand it anymore. Cluttered landscape. It's insanity. It's feudalism. So he writes a book. Stewart writes a book. Guess what he wrote his book on? Now, Ed Smart turns into a millionaire. Ed Smart's broke off his ass. Broke off his ass like many Utahns are, living in his big, ugly, styrofoam piece of shit mansion on the hill that he can't afford. That's what they do here. Because they're all trying to compete with each other. It's not who I am, it's what the neighbors think I am when we show up at church on Sunday. It's a spread across America. That's why all the pill popping goes. Look at the balance sheets. He's broke off his fucking ass when Elizabeth Smart's kidnapped. Stewart and him write a book together. He's become filthy stinking. All those interviews he was doing on Fox News, all over, he was being paid for those. By the way, the voice of Fox News is Utah, KSL. Doug Wright is a terrorist. He's a terrorist. The Mormon Church are terrorists. This whole, I mean, if you don't believe me, this is the most corrupt place. And why do you stay here? Because of the landscape. No, fuck them. This isn't their place. This is my place. This is my place. My roots were here long before they got here. Long before they got here. Now, this is my place. You know, the mighty Ben Loma, the mighty, it's spectacular landscape. That leads me into this. The kids in Vernal. Well, I know plenty of them. Now, think about this. In Utah, you can blow a 21-year-old girl's face off, Danielle Willard, and kill her. And even the internal investigation through the police says it was a murder. That's the police themselves saying that. That's how hijacked the courts are. Judge won't let it go forward. After the prosecutor has brought the charges. Yet, if you just go stand down and try to protect the environment and do nothing, ask Tim to Christopher, they're charged with felonies. Those kids, all of them, and I want people to start Googling this, and we need to start standing up for them, and I know there's plenty of attorneys that are going to show up and protect them and help them. The funds need to start rolling to these kids. You know, they're doing great work. And by the way, the whole fracking complex, the economics of it, oil at 45, the math doesn't work. I mean, the complex overdone. On Balco, it's overdone. The oil glut that exists in this world is freaking obscene. They've overdone it. They went crazy with it. They destroyed the environment in the way. And by the way, it's just like everybody says, oh, we're going to be... No, it does not bring jobs. It's a lie. You know, you go right here in Wyoming. It costs $45 a barrel to get fucking oil out of that fucking mountain. Of course, they built pipelines all over. Now, you think about this. Got an oil rig in Wyoming right here on the Oak Thrust Belt. Okay, and I'm an environmental economist. This is my work. Okay, you got to get it to market. You know, try to build a pipeline. By the way, some of the most dangerous pipelines in the world are across the landscape of Utah, and they break and fracture all the time. All the time. And, you know, no one gives a shit. Just like what's going on in Lake Michigan right now. Oh, it's only oil that's pouring in for 2 months every day out of the freaking plant there. That's all. That's all. Our parents would have freaked out. So you've got to get it marked. So they go to the deep oil well drilling off the platforms. They passed that and get it through, which was always illegal because they feared that the Gulf accident would happen. It was against the law for a reason. So they put those platforms out there. Did that create jobs? No, it destroyed jobs. Because what happens, the international fucking oil drillers, which is British Petroleum, these multinationals, have nothing to do with America. Nothing to do with it. There's a few people that fly out there on the platform and go to work, some that were killed. But for every one job there, it takes away dozens and dozens of jobs here. So they pull up their rigs, they load up the oil, and into the world markets. And there's nothing American about it. It's just like the stock market. People want to put the thumbprint on the representation of the stock market in the United States as the thumbprint of the economy. It's not the thumbprint of the economy. It's not even close to the thumbprint of the economy. It used to be an incredible barometer, the broader index S&P. And I'll tell you what. The market's been all dereg, number one. Okay, so they're multinationals now, via NAFTA. So you're talking Caterpillar, you're talking all these components of all. I'm not just talking the Dow, I'm talking about all of it. So here we go. Number one, what's American about Caterpillar? What's American about Apple? What's American about all of them? Which Apple is not a Dow, which I thought for sure to be in the Dow by now. So GM was in the Dow. Oh, they took GM out. As America goes, GM goes. General Motors, for instance. All of them. They just took their factories and their plants and their workers $60, $70, $80. That's what Americans should be making right now. They just moved it to China. Now they're going to Indonesia, by the way, because Indonesia, slavery is legal. It is legal. It is legal. These are sick fuckers. The biggest component to any fucking company is labor. They backdoor it. Second biggest component is environmental impact laws, which, by the way, they've already started unwinding them. And if you don't think Obama's going to play ball, hell, he'll play ball because he is a Republican, neoconservative, white supremacist. And if you think I'm crazy, which I think it's outrageous, if I was Michelle, I would kick him in the balls so fucking hard and knock him out. She comes from real urban African-American, and it has nothing to do with, this is nothing more than distribution of the wealth to the 1%. And you've gone along with it. The very poor support the very richest. You're taking away all the protections that give you fucking money and wealth and fucking class. You fucking handed them over on a silver platter, and you were willing to hand them over. You're willing to go to work 65 hours a week, and you say, oh, no, the free market. The free market is the most insane concept that you ever come up with in your fucking life. And Rand, a science fiction writer, never claimed to be in. You know what the workforce in this country, in this world is, and always has been? Most of the world, slavery is fucking legal. You know what the workforce in this world is? It's 2 billion strong. More than that, because child labor is legal. All those laws we built up, they're all gone. So these American companies, number one, they pay no taxes. None. Zero, because they found loopholes in the laws, just like they jury-rigged the district, just like they captured the Supreme Court. They've done this all illegally. They backdoored the United States Constitution and the protections of the Constitution. So what's the answer to the question? How many times has the United States Constitution been thing? And I've only ever had 2 students ever get it right, ever. Because we know there's 27 amendments, right? Is that the answer? No, the answer is 18. Why is the answer 18? Because the first whack, 10 of them was done at once. They were all together at once. Well, it's called the Bill of Rights. You ever read it? You guys all gung-ho on the Second Amendment, which, I don't understand that thesis. Just get a bigger gun, get a bigger gun, get a bigger gun. You're outgunned, dude. I mean, you're outgunned. This isn't the wild, wild west. What are you going to do with it? Technology raced way past the gun a long time ago, and I got news for you. I don't think you can afford a fucking drone that flies into outer space and can drop a fucking laser beam down your shitter pipe and zap you anytime you want. I don't think you can afford that, and that's what it takes to fight back if you're going to fight fire with fire. So we have no chance. Dorothy Day, we need a revolution of the heart. So that's our only chance. Well, where does that come from? Political leaders? There used to be good political leaders that ran for the right reasons because you didn't get rich being a politician. You weren't going to get rich being a politician in this country for years and years, especially a congressman. You didn't get rich. You did it for the right reasons because you want to make a difference. You want to represent your people. Not anymore. Mia Love runs, popped up. Then you get your job on Fox News. The average Fox News viewer is 72 years old. Sit around. They're fucking old. They're gonzo. They're afraid of their own fucking shadow. Credibility not needed. So credibility not needed got hijacked, the British invasion. So they come in, and they're trying to, and by the way, all of their ratings are falling off a cliff. So they're doubling down on their last core base that they have. That's what the Republican Party's done. That's what the Democratic Party's done, which marginalizes 70% of the entire population. 70% of the population is like, fuck you and this political theater. Who gives a fuck? And rightfully so. Rightfully so. You know, you don't think you got had with Obama? Oh, we all had. We're so had. Obama's this. Here's what he is to the African-American community, to the progressive community, to, you know, the working class community. You know, he gave a speech. He's like this. You're 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. You're all amped up. You're a young guy. You're sexually motivated, which most young men are sexually motivated, especially in our generation. Do not kid yourself. You meet the most sexy, beautiful girl in the fucking world. You're like all amped up. She's charming. She's beautiful. She's sexy. She says all the right things. She's got everything that males just go crazy over. You know, so she starts kissing you, whatever, and you're hanging around for weeks and weeks, if not months. She's got a violin. She finally says, "Do you want to come in? You want to come to my house? I'll spend the night." Yeah. This has been leading up for months, if not years. So you go in there and you start to rip each other's clothes off, and it's not a girl. That's what Barack Obama is. That's exactly what he is. He's a white neoconservative globalist. That's exactly what he is. He's a globalist, just like Bill Omar Clinton's a globalist, just like fucking. Well, we knew what the Bush plan was, and by the way, Bush didn't win. By the way, Gore's a globalist too. So, but Congress, us as the people, we've fallen for this hyperbole, this trickle-down economics. By the way, Martin Anderson fucking passed, one of the biggest pieces of shit who ever walked the face of the earth. One of the guys that invented the trickle-down economics. 1979, the average American made $106,000 a year, working 40 hours a week in this shit. You think it's a coincidence? The participation rate in 1979 mirrors what it is now for the very opposite reasons. People had wealth. People had money. One person in the family worked, while the other stayed home. Why do they not do that now? The economics don't work, that's why. It doesn't work, but you have to make it work. Do you really need two fucking $40,000 cars? Do you really need in that big empty fucking house with all that fucking empty space you're paying the ridiculous tax load on? Why can't you fucking raise your kids and fucking have a comfortable family in a 1,400 or 1,200 square foot house, 1,100, like our parents did? Why can't you? Of course you can. You know, do Americans need to get rid of their shit? Oh, fuck yes. I mean, the obey, consume. Oh, it's always been. No, it's not. You know, Warhol called it out. The obey, consume fucking thing has went crazy in the last 30 years. Now everybody's competing. Everybody thinks they're fucking. And by the way, once you think you win, you know, you can be on top, huh? You can be on top. That's where you're going? No, you're not. You really want to be with those? So you run for politics. You've got a book out 2 days after you fucking win. You haven't done one thing. One thing. You've done zero. By the way, Rob Bishop been in there 14 years. You know what he's done? He sponsored one bill to take the handguns on to federal lands, Yellowstone, Zions, whatever. Yeah, laws that don't need to be there. Creating hyperbole laws. We hadn't had a murder or a freaking any kind of fucking incident in a public park, in a national park, ever. Oh, we've had several of them now. Little girl in Yellowstone gets a monster, boom. And it goes on over and over because people are paranoid and hyped up and they follow contemporary culture. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm all for the Second Amendment. I'm for all of them. But I understand the Ninth. I understand the fact that the forefathers set this forward to evolve. They knew, they were smart men. By the way, they were brilliant. They were geniuses, all of them. And the Constitution can work if it's allowed to work. The political process in the United States and the way that it was set up is a brilliant piece. It's genius the way they set it up if it's allowed to work, but it's not allowed to work. Why? They illegally packed the Supreme Court. Bush did not win. Gore stood down, of course, because they're all globalists. You know, New World Order. By the way, Savage and all these people were paid to start spinning the word New World Order because it's just like the Kevin Camp, Gunderson, freaking Busby. They're paid to do the passive resistance because we know passive resistance gives these people what they want. Passive resistance is the best thing that can happen to any cause. The globalists knew that. Savage comes out of Berkeley, right out of the head of the snake. By the way, I believe his son owns the fucking, meth in a can complex, but he was paid. They were paid. Operation Foxconn by the CIA. Absolutely paid. To call it New World Order, when they knew for a fact it's Old World Order. If they would have called it the true name, feudalism, if they would have called it that name, people would have revolted against it, because people are sheep. They're goats because they're overworked. They'll swallow whole anything these fuckers shove down their throat. It's just like the Bundy cartel down there. Biggest government moochers. It's like, I love it. Oh, we're going to cut food stamps. When these people are the biggest government moochers in here, that's all they do, by the millions of dollars. Not $187 a month in a food stamp. Huge moochers. He's got the freaking nerve. These are hardcore pedophiles who rape their children. Just like what's going on in Utah now. Oh, we want to hand these fucking glands back over to the Utah to be trusted? Are you kidding me? Google. The sitting attorney general and the past third attorney general arrested at their houses. 13, 11 felony counts respectively. Google it. This is Utah. They would fucking, right there in Wyoming, but, by the way, Wyoming, Montana, all of it used to be called Deseret. And you kind of kid yourself, Wyoming and Idaho have more Mormons per capita than freaking Utah does. If they had their way, Brasso had his way, Old Faithful would be tapped and given to British Petroleum. It's like we're going to go to Iraq and get their oil. What are you you a board of director at BP? We ain't getting shit. The United States has no sovereign wealth fund. I can't believe how Americans do not understand this. Now, there's countries that do have sovereign wealth funds. What does that mean? And they belong to the people written into their constitution, not here. Switzerland has one. I believe Norway has one. I think Denmark has one. And they've done very well. They're managed very properly, but the money belongs to the people. It's written into their constitution. Not here. You don't even own 6 inches under your foundation of your house. No, you don't even own the water rights. You don't own the oil rights. You don't own the mineral rights. You don't own the air above you rights. No. British Petroleum owns huge amounts of them. Multinational corporations own them, and the board of directors, the royals, own them. So the United States stock market has nothing to do with the barometer of the economy. Nothing. Because these guys, think about it. You're a board of director on a company which the same board of directors, these elite pricks, sit on and hand it to them. They sit on multiple boards. And then you wonder why the media is captured. The media, the same board of directors that own the media, own the freaking nuclear reactors, they've got it all lock, stock, barrel. Because as this goes longer and longer, just like it did in Europe, the funnel gets tighter and tighter and tighter till 1914 it exploded. You realize the entire world in 1914 was run by one family. They were all cousins. Oh, the Russian czars and the Queen were, of course they were cousins. They were cousins by blood. The bleeders, the inbreds. One's left standing in England. Oh, the uranium mine owners, the gold owners. I mean, the dogma in this country is sick. It is gone. Free market. You're going to compete with 2 billion people with no environmental fucking laws whatsoever. You're willing to poison the very air you breathe, the very water you drink, and you're willing to kill yourself because you're so fucking dogma stupid. I mean, it is amazing. You just hand these fucking globalists on a silver platter. They're globalists. It's old world order. Edward Abbey right here. It's old as Babylon and evil as hell. And then hearing you go, oh, me, I love the Boston. Oh, she's black. She went to Harvard. No, she went to Hartford. Her real name, Ledamaya Boudreaux. Poorly educated. She's a second-hand movie star. She could not make it. She went to a fucking performance. You all grew up with them. We know who the political theater geeks are. We all know them. We all know them. We all went to high school with them. We all went to college. We know who those fucking geeks are. Her husband's laughing all the way to the bank. The political theater that's running, the Republican Party's run out of BYU law. Alito placed Mike Lee there as a gift because the caucuses in Utah, which, by the way, they passed a law that had to be open, which they still don't care. I don't give a fuck about the law here. Let me shit here. There is no wrong or right. With absolute power comes absolute corruption. They're closed. The primaries in the Republican Party here are closed. So when Mike Lee's named, no one knows his house is in foreclosure. He's got $600,000 in the bank bailout. He got $600,000. I sent him an email. By the way, he lied to me in public. And it's all over YouTube. You watch that thing. He told me he would get back to me that week, and that's right when he's holding up Ted Cruz. The conversation's right there on YouTube. That's the thing people don't understand about the YouTube genre. One thing they don't understand about the YouTube genre, because they think they're all popular. You got these quirky, there's these quirky geeks got 3 million subscribers and 10 billion. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Hee-haw. It's worthless. Because they've abused this fucking genre. Entertainment Tonight. The thing that you underestimate about the YouTube genre is the historical nature. These are history being recorded as it happens by a very few. And let me tell you, all you fuckers that get it dead wrong over and over, you regurgitations of the analysis has been wrong. And you reanalysis the analysis, you're going to be imbued in history for the moment, and you think you're just going to take it down. Good luck to you with that. That's one thing I know about the fucking YouTube community, and there's a lot of smart people out there. You ain't getting away with shit. They will hold your feet to the fire. Scott Brown, he was in Playground. I'm voting for him. He drives a pickup truck. Mia, think about just changing her name to Mia Love. Wow. What is she, a 1970s porn star? Fucking pathetic. I'd like to knock that punk-ass fucking... And that whole husband, I'll bet you that fucking husband of hers loves her about as much as I fucking love fucking nuclear fallout. It's political theater. That's what this country... It's turned... By the way, the political protest vote in 1972 was Mickey Mouse, right? Which I think got a big percentage of the vote. And remember this, when this country really did change in the progressive movement, Teddy, and these whole crazies, Teddy Roosevelt was crazy. Fuck yeah, he was crazy like a fucking den of wolves. He changed the world. Think about a ragtag group of artists and fucking poets he gathered up together and went and fucking kicked fucking Spain out of fucking Cuba. It's an amazing story. It's an unbelievable fucking story. But look what it's turned into. So the political protest vote was Mickey Mouse. Well, think about Deeds back then. Or Debs, excuse me. I always call him Deeds. Debs. What, he get 6% of the vote from prison? And then he goes from prison to having dinner in the White House in 24 hours? It's an amazing story. The shirtwaist fire changed the whole world. Changed the laws. Shirtwaist fire. That's what changed the world. Because the reporter sat there and recorded it. And he was gassed. It was legal to lock him. And Smith jumped chute because he had a conscious soul. Political theater in this country is a fucking cartoon. So what you do now, they find these people, they change their names, they script them, they tell them exactly, you listen to the Republican Party speak, it's the writers that sit for Fox News and just fucking say, by the way, the celebrities at Fox News, I protest there all the time. I protest they're all right together, ABC, NBC. I protest. The only time I ever have any problems with Fox News, their security gives me all kinds of shit. You should see them going in and out of that building. They use limos with tinted dark glass. They only have a certain place they can even go in to a restaurant. People will spit at them. They will spit in there. They hate them. They fucking hate them. But, it's like, I'll give it to Bill O'Reilly. I'll give it to him. I get a kick. And Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh could be the greatest actor of our time. He's a billionaire. You think what Rush Limbaugh's done with it? Rush Limbaugh does not believe one word of his own fucking shit. Elton John sang at his wedding. You do know that. He's laughing. I'll guarantee he goes home and just fucking laugh. If you don't believe me, read Scott McClellan's book. Read his book. Press secretary under the Bush administration says we just sit back inside the fucking situation, and they would just sit and Cheney's attorney, who was running this whole show, would just sit and make a fun. Think about Cheney. You don't think that's an act? Oh, he's crazy. He's twisted. But think about his daughter. She was a human shield in Iraq. You do know his daughter was a human shield in Iraq. The lesbian who got married, It's twisted. It's theater. It's cheap, shitty. It's your high school drama club. That's what politics has turned into. Barack Obama, they're puppets from hell. Barack Obama's a doofus. You remember you thought, he's a genius. He's one. No, he's not. That guy, when he comes out of screen, I'm reading these books. The guy is not intelligent at all. George Bush, and Barack Obama probably have equivalent. He hasn't a gift to give fucking pretty good speeches, which, by the way, that all ended. Those speeches, I think we all said that. I don't even think he's that great of a speech giver. I think we all said that because we were so hungry. We were so hungry because we were so violated by the fucking war complex and that idiot Bush. I mean, you could take a fucking fourth grade fucking stumbling and babbling fucking buffoon who, you know, and put him on the platform after W, who couldn't sound like a great speech giver. I mean, who could after that? You know, it's like the sports. My one buddy always says when there's a major upset, you got to, you know, the number one team in the NFL playing the worst team in the NFL or whatever. And all of a sudden, that worst team will, 14, 15 points. It's like when the Redskins, I'm sitting in the on, I beat the Cowboys this year. A huge upset. He says, well, it's like this. They didn't get up. He says, you've been sleeping with supermodels all your freaking life, and they bring in Ruth Busby. You can't get it up, And so it's true. That's what, it's cheap theater. Because Barack Obama from Occidental College sleeping in his car, smoking weed, confused, never saw a black person in his fucking life. You ever been to Hawaii? He was raised in Honolulu by white parents from Kansas. He's related to Dick Cheney. Mitt Romney's a doofus, by the way. I know his son's doofus. Now, his dad was no doofus. No, his dad was a smart cat, but it's just political theater. Kids are so branded. Hillary smart? Oh, yeah. Like a freaking evil fox. She's a warmonger speaking. By the way, her bloodlines go directly to the House of Windsor, just like Gore's one thing. I always go back there and everybody says, well, I want to talk about Illuminati, they want to talk about Masons. No. I could write 10 books about the Masonics. You're wrong about the Masons. There was a split inside the Masons. There were good Masons, bad Masons. Still comes down to choices among men. Let's talk about who really runs the show. Skull and Crossbones. If I did that video, you go to my YouTube site. I did this on 3/22/11, 11 days after Fukushima, in the classroom, and I go on that satire. What's the statistical probability of a nuclear disaster? Oh, let's ask the smart guys. There's the academia, Harvard, the Yale connection. Oh, absolutely, but it's the Harvard connection. They found him. They placed him. Look, this is a tall skin. Hey, Barry, you a player? You play for the Harvard basketball team? Why would you say such a thing? Tall, skinny guy at Harvard freaking Law, the most white place in the world. The Queens, they've been searching for these false equivalent guys for decades. And by the way, Mia Love's not going to work. She's not smart enough. She'll go down the same fucking tube as Sarah Palin, but give it to Sarah. Give it to Sarah Palin. I will hand it to you talk about the reality of Sarah Palin. By the way, she's in Pocatello, Idaho, right here up the road, right here, Sandpoint. If you don't think they're doubling down on hardcore racism inside Fox News, think about Mark Furman, who lives in Sandpoint, who has his permanent fixture on Fox News. Hannity and these guys are losing traction in droves, and they know it, and they're double down on their hardcore radical, but their old base is getting old and dying. People are sick of them. But on the other side, think about Al Gore and the fucking, let's see, I'm all energy, the global warming, which is very fucking real, but the effects of global warming are very different. They kill you, and it's nuclear reactors that are warming the globe. You know how much steam and heat the 410 of those put off a day, every day, all day? They're sucking up all the water. There's only so much water on Earth that regurgitations. I want you to take out a bowl of water, take a big piece of frozen ice, like a glacier, and sit it in there. Then go fucking shopping like Bush told you to do. Then come home. Watch it thaw in the bowl of water. Does the ocean rise? No, it lowers. What's killing the ocean? Toxins? Absolutely. Global warming? Absolutely. Fukushima's killing the Pacific. No, it killed it. People say, of course you're not going to kill her. I'll go back to Carlin. I named the Pacific genocide, and I've named it exactly right. Carlin, you fuckers, you arrogant fucking humans think this globe's not going to flick you off like a fucking flea. You're crazy. By the way, if you can't tell, I fucking love George Carlin. He's one of my idols in life, and I don't idolize anybody. He's one of the men I look up to. By the way, I like his daughter a lot, too. I love Carlin. He fucking got it. A wit, strength, he fucking got it. He was nice to me, too, one day. I'm walking with my beautiful, my wife was amazing in the days, Just that her and I, But she couldn't handle me. She's like, Kevin, you will not give up your activism. You will not. You stand on integrity. And what kills me, she, boots me for the money when I made money in her. Of course, what does it fucking matter? That's my point about popism. When you get cancer, who gives a fuck? It's over. Hasta la vista, baby. Yeah, let's elect in California Arnold of the SS. I thought, the liberals in California, one of the most racist human beings in the history of man. Maria Shriver's going to go fucking, marry up with him. Fuck, how stupid was she? I mean, how dumb are these fucking females marrying these creeps like this? I mean, why don't you just put I'll give it in San Diego, at least these in Southern California. You see these 30-year-olds walking around with these 80-year-olds with their fake breasts and their balls. But they're blatant about it. Yeah, I'm robbing the fucker, and he knows it. But they want a trophy on it, give it to them. At least they're open out in the front about it. It's like Brasso in Wyoming. I'll give it to him. I don't hate Brasso. I actually like John Brasso, because he'll say, yeah, we know that nuclear's killing people. We know that it's fucking destroying the world and all this, but we got lots of uranium mines in Wyoming, and I have to represent my fucking people and the people that are in Wyoming, the 400,000 of them. We want to sell uranium to the Queen. He'll say it just like that. Evil? Yeah, but at least he tells you what you are. I'll tell you what's evil, the passive-aggressive. Al Gore, that's an evil motherfucker, the bloodlines of her. You think about him. I'm green, I'm green, I'm green, I'm green, I'm green. Builds a house that sucks up $8,000 of energy. Why he's saying he's green? Black is white, up is down, fucking red is green. It's political theater. Because it's so easy. How do you stop a globalist? Class. This is fucking, let's have some 7th grade civics. Class, how do you stop a globalist? How was the country founded? Class. What was really the Boston Tea Party, kids? Oh, it was a tariff war. What's a tariff? Oh, them are living in North America for 150 years. Why then? Sam Adams and them boys were tired of their businesses getting exploited by cheap Chinese goods coming in. Cheap tea coming in. We're sick of it. They're destroying our businesses. The Queen's bringing Alexander Hamilton in 1774. We got to block cheap Chinese goods coming into America. Sound familiar? Oh, we flattened out the earth. Did you know goods came into the port of New York in the ships faster in 1776 than they do today? Why? The shipbuilders, the sailors were the most skilled craftsmen on the face of the earth, Moby Dick. The most skilled. I mean, fuck, even look at those old ships. My God. You get a chance. There's not many of them left. But get a chance to go aboard one, from that era. There's very few of them left. Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, the craftsmanship, holy God. It's like an activist told me the other day, she says, I always thought that, people were dumber back then. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You know how well-read, how unscripted, I should say, they were. They were 10,000 times. Folks in Finance was one of my lectures. I got that lecture from her at NYU. She does her folks lecture. She goes back into every president and every culture, all the way back to Hamilton. In fact, I tried to talk her into doing a lecture with me at Hamilton's grave. I'm the first guy. I'm the professor that does all the. I'm the only guy that's ever done them there. I'm one of the guys I'm probably the guy who got his tombstone finally restored, which it's been restored, thank goodness, at the Trinity Church. So she goes all the way back, and she talks about if a president was to use the language like Bush, like all these guys, they would be railroaded out of town because the American populace was sophisticated. They were well-read. They were educated. They really were. Even if you couldn't read, people that couldn't read are smarter than people are today. Because overworked, I guess, yeah, 65, no doubt about it. Their death spiral, Warhol called it perfect. He called it, he was mocking this consumer-based culture. He was mocking it. He called it, he says, popism has gone crazy. I said when I wrote my PhD, Toast Ignorance, I was working on it long before I got connected, long before this YouTube site started. I said in that, I left it abstract in rough draft. If we don't pivot now, it's going to swallow us whole. That was before 3/11/11. It swallowed us whole. I would have never believed it then that the American population would put up with a major nuclear fucking meltdown. Our biggest fears. Our biggest fears, all of us, our generations before, our biggest fears. When Fukushima happened, part of me was actually happy because I knew the Navy had the ability to go in and entomb it. I knew they did. I've been involved with this since I was a kid. I mean, I like people that they won't give me a platform. You want to talk the fucking nuclear fucking experience, the education, the path. I don't eat, sleep, drink it, which I've eat, sleep, drink it my whole life. I sleep with it literally every day my whole life. And, you know, I could have wrote lots of books as this general went along, but, you know, I knew that it was that important that I tell it in real time as it unfolds. I record history with a YouTube camera. By the way, some of my videos now are starting to get involved that I did 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, people are like, oh my God, they will grow and they will grow and they because that's what history does. Just remember this and never forget this. The greatest novel ever written in American history, maybe in world history. I think it's unarguable. It is a magnificent, brilliant, incredible piece of art that changed the fucking world. Moby Dick. I stood right where he stood. He died unknown as a night watchman. He didn't care. He knew that he made that great piece of art. What a fucking book. Oh my God, what a fucking book. Everybody hated the book. And he had money, and he had a publicist. And the book went out. It wasn't like people didn't have the chance. That book never came in vogue until 50 years later. What a fucking book. Do all artists have to die to be famous? Oh, hell no. Think about Monet. Think about it. What Monet was able to do. He was so fucking popular. Think about that. He draped the fucking bridges going into Paris with fucking cloths for weeks and months at a time. Shut them down. Oh, they didn't, of course. I mean, people were so ignorant. It's like I showed this piece of art, this old, beautiful painting. I said, look at this piece of art. Well, it can't be that old, Kevin. It's on fucking pressed board. Are you kidding? They've been painting on pressed board for hundreds and hundreds of years. What, do you think they didn't have tools and technology just because they didn't have electricity? I mean, I think about the old scaffolds they used to. I mean, the scaffold builders were, oh my God, you know, they were so fucking brilliant. The old fucking wool craftsmen, I was trained by them. You got to see me with a fucking trap. And I still get people to fucking go to me. You can watch my videos of doing interior fucking lap, and then you watch them with their little fucking alligator arm strokes. You know what it is to fucking take a big full fucking stroke with real plaster on a hawk? Michelangelo. Oh, there's videos to prove it. It's incredible. It's all gone. Will it reemerge? Yeah. After the baby boomers are all dead, and they're getting old and they're going to die much. The eugenics thesis, that's what they wanted. That's what they get. Some men you just can't reach. John Holdren, inside the Science Technology at Berkeley, isn't that what they wanted? Is not what they wanted. That's what they wanted. We have to face it. And, you know, I faced it. You saw me this summer in that share safe. It's over. We lost the Fukushima battle, the information war. We lost. It isn't like that we didn't fight hard, but we did lose. And, you know, my style has pivoted. And, well, it hasn't pivoted. My style's still there, but look what I talk about. Surviving. The last frontier, the new frontier, is surviving cancer. We lost the information war. And it isn't like, by the way, I want to, before I do this, I'm going to start saying this more and more often to Christina Radchick, Jules, when they had that early radio show in the early days. I think they saved thousands of people's lives. And people, you know, they were very in tune people. I remember I got a phone call from Manhattan on day about 8, and this oligarch, she says, I'm a famous person, Kevin. She says, I've been listening to you. She says, we're getting out. A lot of people sounded crazy in those early days. We weren't so fucking crazy. But now it's on. It's survival now. We lost the fucking Fukushima information war. It isn't why we tried, because we tried our ass off. And that's all we can do. That's all we can do, is give everything that we have and try.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical.